I'm going to attempt to repair the auto darkening lens for my welding helmet, which quit working because the batteries in it ran down over the years. It had these little button cells in there that did not last. It's two little button cells. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the little cardboard that covers up the electronics on it. I'm going to take off the two little knobs that control the sensitivity and shade. And then I'm going to take off the little cardboard cover that covers up the electronics. It comes off easy now because I've already taken it off. It was a little bit harder to take off the first time because it's glued on. I very carefully pried it up though, so I didn't damage it. So I'm going to set that aside. And here's where the two little button cells went. They went right in these, right in this area here, and the little tabs on them were soldered onto two little terminals here for the positive and negative. The two little button cells. Well, the first thing I tried several months ago was to take a couple of regular button cells, CR 2032s, and I soldered little wires onto them. And then I soldered those onto the positive and negative terminals here. And that worked for a little while, but it quit working after a while. And I'm thinking that the reason is that the heat from the soldering process may have damaged these little button cells. So they worked for a while and then they quit working a long time before they should have quit working. So my intent this time is to replace those with a couple of AA alkalines. And you have to use two of them to replace each button cell because the button cells are 3-volt cells and these alkalines are only 1.5 volts apiece. So if you put two of them in series, you'll get the 3 volts. So in order to put them in series, what I've done is I've soldered a little piece of wire between the positive terminal on one and the negative terminal on the other. I've taped them together. And then on the other side, we'll have 3 volts, 1.5 plus the 1.5. We'll have the 3 volts between the positive and the negative. So my intent is to solder these wires, which I have attached to the electronics here, red and black, so I can identify them, red for positive, black for negative. I intend to solder those onto the positive and negative terminals of my AA battery set. What I need to do first is to mount those inside the helmet. So what I've done is I've drilled 4 holes in each side of this. I thought that might be a convenient place to put the batteries. And I intend to lay those batteries in there like this. And then I'm going to use zip ties. I've got 4 zip ties here, 2 for each side. I'm going to use zip ties to attach those batteries to the helmet. One set of 2 here, and the other set of 2 right here. They're out of the way of the headband that way. I took the headband out in order to make it easier to work in here. So that's what my intention is, and I'm going to get back to you about that after I assemble the thing, and we'll see how it works. So I have assembled all the parts now, and you can see the batteries that I have held down with zip ties, 2 zip ties on each side. They go through the 4 holes that I drilled in the helmet. And then I have soldered the red wire onto the positive terminal and the black wire onto the negative terminal. I'll get this up here closer so you can see it. The light is not that good, but you can kind of see what I've done there. I've soldered it together. I did take it over to the shop and strike an arc, and it does work like brand new. And I don't know if you can see it. I used vinyl electrical tape to hold down the cardboard cover on this piece. It's black like the rest of it, so it might be hard to see, but I used pieces of vinyl tape around the perimeter of it because it was glued on, and I kind of ruined the glue job taking it off, but the vinyl tape holds it on just fine, if you can see that. And all I have to do now is put the headband back in, and we're all set. So that's it. If your helmet ever breaks down because of the batteries run down, this is what I would do. Works good.